Krista.
Hey, Sarah. We're back.
We're back for another episode of 12 Pods of Christmas.
That's right. We give a daily dose of fun and interesting topics from now until Christmas Eve's Eve.
You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. What are we chatting about today?
We're going to do it a little differently today. We're going to do like a what would you do if scenarios and kind of pose these questions to each other to see what we would do in certain scenarios and maybe judge each other a little bit based on those actions.
I love it.
Do you want to start it off?
Oh, okay. If you won the lottery, what would be your first purchase?
Okay. So if I won the lottery, I would pay off my mortgage. I would pay off any outstanding debts that my mom or dad had, and my sister and my brother. So pay my debts first. And yeah, that would be my first purchase. And then like a nice vacation. And I would definitely quit my job. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have to pay anything for that, but like that would be like number one.
Yeah. You're such a good person. And that's so funny. Your like quote unquote first purchase is exactly my first purchase. Pay off my mortgage.
Yeah, right? Because you want the freedom, right? Money.
Yeah, 100%.
Money gives you freedom. Yeah, I would pay off other people's debt because I know they're going to ask me for money. And then if I get to decide rather than wait for them to ask, then I'm basically telling you how much you're going to get.
Right. Well, that's nice of you.
Thank you. I can be nice sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's so funny that our answers were the exact same. I love that. Okay, now you ask me a question.
Mine's a little bit easier, and I think it ties into a lot of like at least TikTok or YouTube videos that I've seen in the last like couple months, at least post Halloween. If you discovered like a hidden room in your house with a mysterious portal, would you enter it? So there's like a door. Ooh. You know, you won't find it because it's hidden behind something, or there's some kind of like sub drywall over it and you're like doing renovations and then you find it. And then this door definitely isn't like any other door. Do you like go into it and like see what's up? Or do you like seal it off forever and just continue living your life?
Oh my gosh. Are we like going into Narnia? No, I would absolutely check it out. I would probably, if I discover it by myself, I would then tell my husband, and then I would say, okay, let's go like check it out together, or like I'll check it out, you stay back just in case if something goes south. But absolutely I would check it out. Would you?
Ooh. So I think it all depends on the vibes around the door, like what kind of energy it's giving off. I probably would be hesitant to do it if I was alone. I feel like I would need to reflect on it a bit and maybe decide on like exploring it with somebody else. But it all depends on the vibes, right? Like, is it like a bright light around it? Then okay, maybe. Is it daytime while I'm doing it? Yeah, more likely. Is it dark at nighttime? Definitely not doing it. Is it daytime and it's still giving off dark vibes? Like, I would definitely need to think about it. I definitely would not go down right away. I would like call in like, I don't remember what they're called, but the people that go around with their little electromagnetic machines and like go to haunted houses, I would call on them to like investigate it if it was giving off dark vibes.
See, gotcha. I just assumed it was giving off good vibes. I didn't even think of it if it was giving off like haunted or scary vibes. If it was giving off haunted or scary vibes, I would immediately move.
Valid. Well, I think that's a clear example of the differences in our personalities, right? Like I'm always thinking like trust no one and everybody's evil. So I'm just always like, what if it's darkness? What if it's horrible? And you're like, no, everything is happy. Bless your heart.
Yeah, I'm like, no, there's rainbows and butterflies and unicorns on the other side.
I'm like, is it money? I mean, if it was money and dark or good vibes, I might just be like, fuck it.
Yeah. Okay. So what would you do if you saw someone in public with toilet paper stuck to their shoe?
If it was a female, I would not try to embarrass them, but I would let them know that you have toilet paper stuck to your shoe. If it was a dude, I'll maybe not. I don't know. Feel like one of his bros can help him out.
Yeah, and it depends on your relationship too. If you know the person, you have a good relationship, you can be like, look down.
Yeah, but I could.
But yeah, if it was a female.
If it was a stranger, I could still do it because I'd want someone to do it.
Yeah.
I've had a stranger come up to me and say in a line, I was in like a line at Tim Hortons 100 years ago. And she's like, she tapped me on the shoulder. She's like, your sweater's inside out, my cardigan. And I'm like, thank you for telling me that.
That is amazing. But if it was like someone random and I just like saw them in the hall at a mall or something, like, no, I wouldn't tell them.
It just depends.
Like, I think it just depends on the context and it depends on the situation.
Yeah. If they're like in a mall walking by and you're seeing them walk by and they're not close, I'm not running up behind anybody. But if it's not a big deal for me to just like reach out, if they're within my personal space or close enough and privacy for me to have that kind of conversation, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So question for you. What would you do if you found a suitcase full of money on the street? Would you take it? Would you leave it? If you took it, would you spend it?
There's just like a suitcase full of money, like a suitcase that you travel with full of cash.
Yeah. So let's just say it's like, let's make it realistic, right? Like it's not like a full blown suitcase. It's like maybe a carry-on or something. And maybe the carry-on is open a little bit. So and Canadian money is colorful. There's money in there.
Yeah. With that amount, no, I couldn't take it. I would probably, it depends on the situation. I would probably call or I'd just leave it.
Yeah.
Or I'd call I don't know, do I call the cops for that and be like, FYI, there's like lots of cash laying on the sidewalk or somewhere? I don't think I could take it. I would feel guilty.
Valid.
But if it was like, if it was like $10 on the ground, yeah, I would take it.
Well, of course, everybody would.
Yeah. Well, what would you do?
With that kind of money in like a carry-on, I know for sure that money is bad money and it's drug money. I'm not putting a target on my back by taking that money. I'm going to walk by the money. I'm going to pretend like I don't even see the money. And then maybe I'll call the cops. So I know, like somewhere privately where it can't be traced back to me that the money is there. Because I don't want anybody coming after me to kill me. So that's too much money. However, there have been 2 separate times in my life where I have seen just piles of money on the ground and picked it up and took it. 2 different times in my life this has happened within the last 10 years. $200, just a bunch of 20s on the ground.
Like how much money?
$200. Both times.
Oh shit. That's awesome.
$240 the first time.
Holy crap.
And a little over $200 the second time. 2 different friends just walking.
Oh my God.
Just walking. The money's just there. And it's like a scene from the movie. Like the money's there on the ground, like in the street right before you hit the sidewalk. And it's like nobody else sees it. Everybody else is just walking around like they don't see it. Like you're in a different dimension where people can't see this money. And I just picked it up. My friend's like, what do we do? I'm like, I'm just going to pick it up and we're just going to walk slowly. And if somebody says something, then we're going to be like, yeah, we're holding it for you. But if not, we're just going to continue to walk slowly and then we're going to keep it. Because everybody was just walking by, literally walking on top of the money and like they did not see it. And this was $240. And then the same thing happened at a festival a few years later with a completely different friend walking through the field. And this was a festival that was cashless. So nobody should have even had money on them to begin with. Just money there on the ground. Again, everybody walking around it like they don't see it, like walking right, like stepping on it. And I just scooped it up and we continued on. Nobody said anything.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Like that's unfair. Like, do you have like a 4-leaf clover up your butt? Because like that's insane. Like I'll be lucky if I see a penny or like a 10 cents on the sidewalk, not over $200.
Yeah. So I think that it's a balance. Like I live a life of balance of having extraordinarily good luck in weird times unexpectedly. But I always like the worst case scenario always happens to me. So I always have a balance of like good things happening and like bad things happening to me. So when the money comes, I'm like, wow, this is my payment.
That's crazy. That's funny. What would you do if you had to choose between wealth and fame?
Wealth every day. I'm not interested
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. And same. Give me with the wealth.
I'm not interested in
everybody knowing me. Give me the wealth.
Absolutely.
I don't care about the fame. No.
I'm here for the money.
That's an easy one.
Not notoriety. That's why we're friends, because we're the same. So this is a little bit, I feel like this is like a moral or an ethical question. What would you do if you had the ability to read minds for a day? Would you do it? Like read minds of anybody, family, husband, everybody. Would you engage in that gift to see what people really think?
Obviously.
Ooh.
Like, no question. Yes. Yes.
Damn.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure that I would do it.
Really?
Yeah.
I would. 100%.
Because I can assume what I think.
Because at the end of the day, in my bones, like in my bones, I'm a people pleaser. So I want to know what they truly think of me, because then the next day I'm going to try to please them and go above and beyond. But I do want to know what people think of me, the good and the bad. But it might be helpful if you're having like an interview at a company, and if you can read their mind, that might be useful. No, yeah, I would absolutely take that gift for a day.
I would say if I could turn it on to when I want, then I would take it. But otherwise, no, I'm not a people pleaser. So if I knew people really didn't like me, granted, that's the best gift anybody can really give you is like directness, but then I wouldn't fuck with anybody as a result of it. So I feel like that would be more harmful than helpful.
Right.
But yeah, so job interview, if you knew in the interview that you're like, I don't really care what this girl is saying, I wouldn't waste my time. Like, I'd be like, you know what? I would just end the interview. I'd be like, you know what? I've decided this is not for me. I'm going to give you back 20 minutes of your time, sir.
Yeah. I think it would come in candy.
Agreed. It's valid.
If you could only view one website for the rest of your life, what would it be?
YouTube. It has answers to everything I need.
Yeah, I would. Oh,
I mean, if I could cheat it, the answer would say Google, because Google's technically a website, but technically not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would say YouTube.
Yeah. Well, so what would you say?
Yeah, YouTube was my number one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, ooh, I do like Instagram and Facebook for like the like social aspect of like friends and family. Maybe drop Instagram, because Facebook you could potentially do a little bit more, and I have like more family on there. So maybe I would keep Facebook just to stay in contact with people and stay connected and updated. But then I'm like, ooh, but I love my YouTube. So I don't know if I could choose.
Interesting. Yeah, I would still pick YouTube. But those are valid.
Yeah. It's a solid choice.
Yeah. I have one last question. My question is,
hear it.
You discover a book that can accurately predict your future actions. Would you read it? And if so, would reading it influence your choices? Would you kind of use that book as your guide versus trying to like change your future by knowing like what actions will lead to what outcomes?
Okay, this is like a two-parter. So would I read the book to know my future? Yeah, I think I would. It's almost like looking into a crystal ball to see what happens in your future. I think I would definitely read it. Yeah. I think I would definitely read it. And then what was the second part?
Would you influence your choices? So knowing that
yeah, it would, because yeah, it totally would. It would 100% influence my choices. If I know my future actions, absolutely. Whether that's good or bad, who knows? But I would absolutely read it, and I'd figure it out. Would you read it?
I would read it. I couldn't not read it.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple psychics in my lifetime. Exactly. Obviously, I want to know what my future holds. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No question, I'd read it. How could you not?
I know, but it's like, what if, so like, let's assume like the positive spin is like, you're the successful person and these are the actions that you take. I myself would like second guess my actions, being like, am I taking these actions knowing that in the end, this is supposed to be my future? Or am I doing what naturally would have come to me if I hadn't read the book? So I think I would it would mess with my mind a little bit.
Oh, no, it would definitely not for me. I'd be like, okay, things to do. That's what I have to do. That's what I have to do. Check mark, let's go.
True.
I wouldn't think twice. I would just do it.
Valid. You are very task oriented that way. Yeah, makes sense.
That's funny. Do we do more, or do you think that's enough?
I mean, that was my last question. If you have one more that you want to throw into the fire, by all means. Otherwise, I think we covered some pretty interesting scenarios that have given the listeners some stuff to ponder.
Yeah, I think let's close it off on that one.
Okay. It's a pretty good one. So, for our listeners, as always, we would love to hear, what would you do in the scenarios that we talked about? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Do you have different perspectives and spins on it? What are some other scenarios that you would have liked for us to go over? Definitely share with us. As always, if you haven't already, please give us a rating. And if you like what you're hearing and want to continue to hear from us, hit the follow button or subscribe button on the platform that you're using to stream our episodes. We love engaging and hearing from you guys. We definitely do a lot of socialization on our social media channels. We provide you links to those channels in every podcast episode description. So there is no way that you can't find us or get a hold of us, interact with us. We interact back. And we put Q&As and polls at the end of every episode too, because we want to hear your thoughts and we want to stay connected. And with that being said...
And yes, continue.
Did I forget something? I was going to say we'll see everybody, or they'll hear us tomorrow.
Exactly. We're going to continue the 12 days of pod till Christmas. So I will chat with you tomorrow, Krista.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.